Good afternoon. Welcome to today's policy briefing of our Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Congressional Fellows. I am Nicole Austin Hillary, and I am the President and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Incorporated. I am so honored to have you all with us today. Today is so important, and the main reason why it is so important is because it provides an opportunity for you to get a peek at the thinking and development of the next generation of leaders here in our country. The CBCF Fellows Program provides an amazing opportunity to do what I like to call leveling the playing field. It ensures that young professionals in the early parts of their career gain opportunities to build their knowledge, their skill sets, their expertise by working with members of Congress on critical issues, on critical policy issues that will frankly shape our nation and provide a template for how communities can grow, become empowered, and move into the future. We are so appreciative to all of the members of Congress who support this program and have made it a continuous reality for us and for the fellows who get to benefit from it. We are also extremely grateful to the many sponsors, too many to name here today, but please know that we thank you and are grateful for all of the work you do and for the investment that you place in our fellows and in the CBCF. I want you to know that what you're going to hear today is the brilliance of these fellows and the culmination of the work that they are engaged in throughout their fellowship year. And that is the time that they commit. They commit to this program for a year in which they are placed in congressional offices and they work on the issues that are cutting edge and that are vitally important to the American public and to the leaders with whom they get to engage on a daily basis. This is work that, again, will inform and empower communities throughout the country. And we are so proud of these young leaders and how they will shape how this country moves forward and how it will continue to thrive. We want to make certain that this work continues. And we are so looking forward to the future of this program and to what we know these young leaders will bring to the table and what they will be. So I thank them all for their incredible work. We are all looking forward to engaging with you today and hearing and seeing your brilliance on display. So without further ado, we're going to get started. And remember, building the future begins with building up and investing in our young leaders. That's what we're committed to. And we are thankful that you all are committed to the same thing and join us today in embracing and encouraging these young leaders.
Thank you, Nicole, for your powerful remarks. Hello, everyone. My name is Akela Jenkins McIntyre, and I serve as the director of the Leadership Institute here at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. Your support of CBCF's Leadership Institute is not taken lightly. Our esteemed fellows have done us proud with their commitments to social justice and their in-depth policy analysis. They have served on Capitol Hill, in Congress, on committees and subcommittees, with various nonprofits, and have conducted research on behalf of our Center for Policy Analysis and Research. Collectively, we have fellows whose areas of expertise include education, gender and racial equity, LGBTQ+ advocacy, maternal and child health, criminal justice, economic development, transportation, affordable housing, voting rights, trauma-informed care, childhood obesity, health equity, gun violence, just to name a few. This afternoon, you are in for presentations that will address so many of these topics that are critical to the advancement of the global Black community. We will now transition to the event that you have all been waiting for, starting with a few logistical details. Please reference the slides that are about to be shown on your screen. We will have 2 options of breakout rooms for you to attend, featuring different fellow presentations each time. Our first breakout room rotation will feature presentations from Shelby Birch, Dr. Cameron Blackmore, Dr. Hillary Carruthers, Rachel Gentry, Haley Hoskins, Nkechi Alechi, Paige Jones, and Dr. Danielle King. Our second breakout room rotation will feature presentations from Javon Knight, Ayanakwe Omaragbun, Jasmine Payne, Chloe Scott, Kyle Shepard, Kyla Terry, and Brittany Thomas. Please reference the link that has been made available in the chat for details regarding fellows' presentation topics. Please also be advised that fellows will present for approximately 10 minutes before opening the floor for Q&A for another 10 minutes. Finally, please note that all breakout rooms will be recorded. During the question and answer segment of the presentations, please turn on cameras and come off of mute to engage with the fellows as we work to make the virtual environment as engaging as possible. Please mute yourself when moving in and out of breakout rooms, and please ensure that you select leave breakout as opposed to leave meeting when returning to the main room. It's an easy mistake to make. CBCS staff will be present in all breakout rooms to provide support, but please also see on the screen graphics that indicate how to ask for help should you need to do so at any point. We are looking forward to an incredible afternoon. The breakout rooms are about to open. Please reference the screen for a visual representation of how you can join your rooms. You will be prompted to join the room. You will be prompted to return to the main room in 20 minutes to allow for a brief intermission before second rotations begin. Breakout rooms are now opening. Happy listening and engagement.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's Leadership Institute's Fellows Policy Briefing. My name is Chloe Scott and I will be your presenter today. Today's presentation topic is on the new Department of Labor initiative needed to increase the hiring of women in construction industries. Thank you for attending. A little about the presenter. My name is Chloe Scott and I am a Congressional Technology Fellow sponsored by Google. My current placement is with Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, the representative for Illinois District 14. Lauren is a trailblazer for change when it comes to women, especially for women and their maternal health care rights. My education is a Master of Science in Sports Management and a Bachelor of Arts in Communications, specializing in public relations. My interest areas include education, business and entrepreneurship, healthcare, and the status of women. In terms of advancing the agenda for women, it is very important to me. As a fierce advocate for advancing the agenda for women in male-dominated industries, I believe that leveling the equitable playing field in all fields should be a priority. This is exactly why I chose to do a policy recommendation on women in construction, a male-dominated industry, with an untapped potential for success. So here's why a new Department of Labor initiative is needed to increase the hiring of women in construction industries. The rapidly growing construction industry desperately needs to diversify its workforce in order to sustain the industry. Women are significantly underrepresented in this sector, and more must be done to recruit, train, and retain women for construction jobs. Congress should absolutely support the U.S. Department of Labor's funding for new initiatives, including the training and hiring of women. Why action is needed? There are two touch points here. One, labor shortage, and two, women in construction. According to a 2021 report by the National Association of Home Builders, there are not enough skilled construction workers to increase America's housing inventory and improve housing affordability. There also are not enough people to fill the jobs in the overall construction industry. Currently, there are 300,000 to 400,000 open unfilled jobs. And based on these numbers, by 2024, we will need an additional 2.2 million net hires for the construction industry. These numbers are alarming. Another reason why action is needed is women in construction in general. These numbers are also telling for women in the field. According to the National Association of Women in Construction, 44% of women are in the professional management sector, 20% are in the sales and retail sector, and alarmingly, 1% are in the actual construction and maintenance sector. We've got to fix that. Other occupational factors that you might have come to mind when thinking of the factors that deter women in the construction industry is race. Last year, the Institute of Women's Policy Research published a report taking a deep dive into the barriers that negatively impact women in the trades industry. According to that survey, when identifying with other women versus women of color on the job, 43.3% of women frequently or always see the other women on site versus 23.5% of those women frequently or always see women of color on site. There is a discrepancy between these numbers. It is nice that there is a group of women that other women can see on site, but the number is not the same when it comes to seeing women of color. Recruitment is another occupational factor that comes into play. The IWPR's, the Institute for Women's Policy Research survey on retention and advancement, confirms that the American job centers and school systems have fallen short with alerting women of career options in the trades industry. 5.5% of respondents are alerted by the American Job Centers of Trade Options, while 6% of respondents are alerted by their house school counselors. Either way, the percentages for this recruitment are low and something needs to be done about it. A solution that I'd like to present is local early exposure when we are talking about recruitment. Here in Maryland, there's a community program called Heavy Metal Playground. And Heavy Metal Playground is a business that allows youth and adults to explore construction in a fun, educational way. There is no gender bias. There is an age restriction. You have to be at least 8 years old to play in the dirt and on the equipment. But Heavy Metal Playground is an organization in Hagerstown, Maryland, that allows the exploration in the trades, or specifically in the construction industry, fun. Exposing youth to this early on not only is enriching, but it also can build upon team building. Not only does Heavy Metal Playground offer team building and corporate outings, they also offer OSHA compliant heavy equipment training. I know this because in the past, in a nonprofit leadership position, I worked directly with Heavy Metal Playground in securing an enrichment activity for monthly sessions for the nonprofit I worked for. So here are my policy recommendations. Number one, expanding pathways for women. The WANTU program is doing such, but Congress should continue to fund the WANTU, or the Women in Apprenticeships and Non-Traditional Occupations program. This program was established through the WANTU Act in 1992 to increase the number of blue-collar workers through providing funds to community-based organizations. The program's impact can be seen in the numbers. In 2021, over $3 million was provided to 5 community-based organizations through WANTU to increase the women's employment and apprenticeship programs in non-traditional occupations. The WANTU programs must continue to receive robust funding to support women seeking opportunities, specifically apprenticeships with the labor force. Congress should definitely support initiatives that create alliances between local construction commissions and the Department of Labor's Women's Bureau. My second recommendation, funding focused studies on minority tradeswomen. There is a need to advocate for funding focused studies on minority tradeswomen because it's evident that in general, women are an anomaly in the workforce. But why are Black women? Is it rooted in factors like access? Focused studies can provide the necessary data to explain the disproportionate numbers between white and Black women in the construction industry. And lastly, my third recommendation is strengthening methods on how to recruit and retain women in construction. We can do such with talent pipelines and retaining women in the construction industry. Congress must support initiatives that create pipelines that set clear recruitment and participation goals for targeting women, especially for pre-apprenticeship programs. For retaining women in the industry, we must also establish a presence and a framework. I will now open up the floor for questions. Thank you for attending our policy briefing. Please feel free to connect with me by using my email, which is provided below. This presentation is proudly brought to you on behalf of myself and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. Let's continue to lift up and lead forward.